we're talking about different free wills. You know, there's one that a defense attorney uses. My client shouldn't be severely punished because his mother and father were criminals, so therefore his heredity was criminal, and he came from this bad neighborhood where his environment was criminal, so he didn't really have complete free will to do all these bad things. I don't think Ben or I are talking about free will in that sense, although it's an effective one for defense attorneys. You know, a Subaru salesman down here on Water Street told me that when somebody gets out of a car after a test drive and they're walking toward his office, he can predict with very high probability whether that person is going to buy the car or not. And he says he can predict it even before the person knows whether he's going to buy the car or not.
Even after the current meltdown?
Pardon?
Even after the current meltdown?
Even after the, well, I haven't talked to him since.
I don't think
he hasn't sold any cars.
You should watch the automobile people in the Senate to see you can't predict anything.
Right. So, you know, he can predict with high probability. So does that potential buyer have free will? Let me say, if the salesman could put the potential buyer through an MRI machine, as Ben's psychologist, whatever they are, neurologists did, he could probably predict even better. But let me bet that if the salesman told the customer, as the customer walked into his office, I can tell by your expression that you're going to buy this car, the customer probably out of just plain orneriness would say, no, I won't. Actually, one of the psychologists said, maybe people don't have free will, but they have free won't. Well, if you have free won't, I would say, let me tell you that, again, Ben may be talking about that kind of free will. I think the psychologists are talking about that kind of free will. I'm not. Here's the kind of free will I'm talking about. You know, an analogy. I'm going to do an analogous example, which I'm going to take two coins and flip them, and I'm going to say, hey, you know, if I touch my nose, the coins will come up the same. Yes. But if I touch my ear, the coins come up different. And that happens every single time. No, it doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't really. But thank you. But there is no physical. You know, I would be, if that happened, I would say, wonder, is there some physical force, you know, some physical interaction between my nose and ear and the coins? And after a lot of investigation, I might prove that there isn't. And so somehow I would say that my free choice somehow is, because I believe in it, is somehow influencing the dropping of the coin. Now, it doesn't happen. We have to use this demonstration can only be done by interference. But we physicists believe it with small things. Actually, bigger and bigger things all the time. But this coin example analogy is how physics encounters consciousness and free will. I like, you know, the four options that I mentioned, accept the Enigma, but say don't teach it. Accept the Enigma, say it's a mystery, we don't understand it, but we can tell people about it. That's my choice. Or, hey, we have this conspiratorial universe that John Bell objects to so much. I don't like it either. Or many worlds interpretation, which, by the way, the quantum cosmologists kind of like. It sort of fits, as long as they don't have, as long as they can stay out there. But physics major should be able to discuss this problem, and that's one of the reasons that I do this 2-unit seminar, the observer in quantum mechanics. And so 2 reasons why physics majors should really understand it. And one is that...
Can I ask a question? Is there going to be time for discussion?
Yeah, we need to wrap up.
I'm almost...
and have some people here be allowed to discuss, because we're running out of time very quickly.
So it was 2 o'clock.
Well, we said 1:30.
Okay, so, okay. If you want, if physics majors want to know why it's important for your career or social responsibility, ask me.
Okay. So I'd like to open it up for comments and questions, but I'd just like to say one thing. I'm really pleased that as an undergraduate you're willing to challenge something that went on in your class. So I hope that's an inspiration to all the other students to feel free to do that. Okay, then what I'd like to do then is to thank Ben and Bruce for being willing to have this little debate. It's been really fun, and I'm glad we solved everything. And if you're willing, you could come up and informally ask questions if you like.